Holy motherfucking mackerel, we have reached the 20th video on the Master Raney channel. There's 20 infamous people that Master Raney would like to share with you, even modern ones and through history. What an honorable pleasure to master at least 20 videos on the Master Raney channel. And to celebrate having 20 videos on the Master Raney channel, I'm going to give you my top 20 most infamous people in history, including some modern ones. So I'm going to count down my top picks. Ready? Number 20. Elizabeth Bathory. This serial killer is known as the Blood Countess. This Blood Countess is very well known back in the era 1585 to 1609 for murdering 650 girls and tormenting them by forcing them to eat their own flesh, stabbing them with needles, and drinking their blood. Not only that, she's also burned their hands, faces, and privates. Some of those victims have starved to death. Not to mention that the victims were naked most of the time while being tormented. But fortunately, in 1610, the year after the end of the era that Elizabeth Bathory was tormenting girls, she was sentenced to life in solitary confinement, and then 4 years later, she died. Number 19, Dr. H H Holmes. This guy, known as Herman Webster Mudgett or Henry Howard Holmes, was also a serial killer. He confessed to 27 counts of murder, but only 1/3 of it was confirmed. Number 18, Nero. This guy was the 5th Roman emperor from 54 AD to 68 AD. He was very well known for burning cities, responsible for thousands of counts of murder, including all of his family members. Number 17, Emperor Hirohito. This guy was a Japanese emperor from 1926 to 1989 who has committed the rape of nagging against Chinese, Indonesian, Korean, Philippine, and Indo-Chinese people. He has demanded all Chinese war prisoners to be put to death. Approximately 200,000 women were raped because of him. He sometimes forced men to rape their wives and daughters and forced about 10 million Chinese people into slavery. This emperor here was responsible for the tens of millions of murder. Number 16, King Louis XIV of France. The Sun King was a monarch in the House of Bourbon. He became the king of France at the age of 4 in 1643. And here's what kind of shit that shocks ya. He was against religion. He was abusing Huguenots. And then he had them killed when they continually practiced their religion. Number 15, Attila the Hun. This ruler of the Huns from 434 to 453 AD wanted to demolish the Roman Empire, and he killed the Romans that begged for mercy. He was both filicidal and fratricidal. What a fucking psychopath. Number 14, Tiberius. This Roman emperor from 14 AD to 37 AD was responsible for the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. He ordered Pontius Pilate to crucify Jesus in between 30 to 33 AD. Not only that, he was responsible for the death of Germanicus by poisoning him. It'll be 2,000 years ago this year on October 10th. Number 13, Kim Il-sung. This guy is known as a North Korean dictator responsible for the 3 generations rule establishment back in 1972. This law imprisoned or executed 2 generations of the descendants as well as the offender himself, despite that the rest of the bloodline didn't do anything. Il-sung was responsible for starting the Korean War, leading to 3 million deaths. He subsequently brainwashed his fellow citizens to worship him. Number 12, Saddam Hussein. Saddam was an Iraqi dictator from 1979 to 2003. His actions led to 2 million deaths. In 1987 to 1988, an average of 75 million Kurds died because of Saddam's campaign of terror. But the good news is that he's been executed by being hung on a hanging rope. Number 11, Hillary Clinton. First person currently alive to mention. Clinton was known for drawing a controversy. This began in March 2015. The email scandal investigation began in July 2015. The investigation went on for a year. In July 2016, the email investigation was concluded. Yet there was more investigation in October 2016. The discussion about the investigation of the email scandal went on even through 2017 by the U.S. Justice Department because of Comey's announcements. Hillary was using her family's private server for communications rather than State Department's bared on encrypted federal servers. Clinton violated State Department protocols and policies as well as the law and order, according to experts, government officials, and congressmen. Number 10, Vladimir Putin. Vladimir is known for making nuclear threats to America. He has targeted America with nuclear missiles. Vladimir Putin wants to start World War III just so he could destroy the NATO and the European Union. Number 9, Queen Mary I of England. Mary I of England, also known as Bloody Mary, was burning people to death because of the opposition to her beliefs. Number 8, Kim Jong Il. This guy, as well as his father Kim Il-sung, was also a North Korean dictator, but worse. He was subjecting people to cruel punishment for stupid shit that is illegal in only North Korea that is not illegal anywhere else. In this tyrant's authority, women's pants are illegal to wear. He forced his prisoners into hard labor and subjected people in prison camps to rape, beatings, and torture. Sadly, North Koreans are forced to worship him as a god. And before I give you the last details of Kim Jong-il, I'd like to show you an image of him burning in hell. well deserved, and Kim Jong-un's gonna get the same in the afterlife. Number 7. Richard Nixon. President Nixon was responsible for the Watergate scandal in 1972 that involved 5 burglars. Nixon used to deny being a crook, but he was. Nixon was threatened with impeachment, but on August 8, 1974, Nixon made a resignation speech and resigned the next day, letting Gerald Ford, the vice president, take over oath of office. And just FYI, Richard Nixon was the first president in history to ever resign from the oath of office. Number 6. Osama Bin Laden. Osama was the leader of the Al-Qaeda terrorist group. He claimed responsibility for the September 11th terrorist attacks, which had approximately 3,000 people killed. He also bombed the U.S. embassies on August 7, 1998, leading to 224 deaths. Number 5. Kim Jong-un. This guy, as well as Kim Jong Il and Il-sung, is also a North Korean dictator and is currently the leader. He is responsible for brutal and inhumane laws that he forces citizens to live under. Jong-un is responsible for the death of Otto Warmbier, an American college student who allegedly stole a propaganda poster and was sentenced to hard labor for 15 years, and suddenly 17 months later, like I mentioned in video 18 of the Master Raney channel, he was released back to the United States physically, mentally, socially, and emotionally handicapped. Yet not to mention, Jong-un has also been making nuclear threats to America. Number 4. Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff was responsible for the investment scandal. He was an investment advisor, stockbroker, and financier until he was convicted of the following crimes: securities, investment advisor, mail and wire frauds, making false statements, perjury, making false filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission, theft from an employment benefit plan, and money laundering. Because of his felonies, Bernie Madoff is in prison for 150 years and he has forfeited $17 billion. So he is no longer an investment advisor, stockbroker, nor financier. He is a convicted fraudster. Number 3. Caligula. This guy was the Roman emperor from 37 AD to 41 AD. He had fun brutally assassinating people. What did he feed to the lions, panthers, and bears? You guessed it. Prisoners. Number 2. Adolf Hitler. Hitler was the leader of the Nazi Party in Germany. Hitler was anti-Semitic, blaming Jews for Germany's problems, thinking that they weren't real people. Hitler started the Holocaust during World War II, killing 6 million Jews in Europe from 1941 to 1945. Not to mention, his actions led to over 50 million deaths. Now for the top pick. It's time for A. What's this? It's a letter from the Project Commission. 5 dishonorable mentions. Dishonorable mention number 1, James Buchanan. James Buchanan was considered the worst president in U.S. history, known for the economic collapse leading to so many unemployments. So true that he was the worst president in U.S. history. Dishonorable mention number 2, Donald Trump? What's he doing on this list? This says that he was responsible for the government shutdowns, responsible for the presidential alert, and responsible for getting himself close to impeachment. Yeah, I don't think so. I think that's wrong. Yeah, tell him, Trump.
Wrong.
I'm voting for him in the next year's election just so we could keep America great. Dishonorable mention number 3, Ben Carson. Ben was known for his controversial quotes, including when he was stating that he wanted to kill someone. Ooh, that sounds psychopathic. Dishonorable mention number 4, Bernie Sanders. Bernie was known for blaming the rich for America's problems. Bernie is much of an Adolf Hitler to the wealthy. Imagine if he was the Democrat in the 2016 presidential election, he exceeds 270 electoral votes and beats Trump. Hell yeah, he would have risen the U.S. minimum wage to $15 an hour. It draws quite a mass disadvantage for raising the country's minimum wage that high. Many businesses would shut down because of being outwaged by the national minimum wage, especially your favorite stores and restaurants. Yeah, too bad for Bernie Sanders that he did not get to be the president because his plan was to raise the U.S. minimum wage to $15, and that would lead to high unemployment. Last but not least, dishonorable mention number 5. What the fuck? Master Raney? What the hell did I do? How did I get on that list? It says here that Master Raney is known for insulting the audience and also known for paradox crimes by going back in time through an operating system, invading various places, getting somebody fired, leading to an environmental defect, getting somebody divorced, leading to an indoor thunderstorm, and getting somebody's business shut down and sued, leading to real-life World War III. That attempts to destruct the earth. Not only that, he has been convicted of dishonoring Sheldon Cooper. Well, none of that makes any fucking sense at all. Number 1, Joseph Stalin. From 1922 to 1953, Joseph was a Soviet Union dictator who committed bank robbery, agitation, and murder. He created a reign of terror, murder, demolition, and viciousness lasting 3 decades long. If you, as a member of the era 1922 to 1953, spied on him, irked him, or voted against him, yeah, you would be killed with no escape. Anyone independent, popular, or smart would be tormented, imprisoned for a long time, or shot and killed because of Stalin's orders. We know this guy is a communist. So to mark this as the last video in this character and background setting, I'm going to go change. So here I am in a new setting. This will be effective on the 21st video on the Master Raney channel, which will be eventually released on screen. And now I'm going to show you my new intro that will be effective on the 21st video. Alright, dumbasses, stay tuned for the 21st video on the Master Raney channel that'll eventually be released on screen. Now, this character is going to be effective on the 21st video, and it will last until I hit the 30th video on the Master Raney channel, and then that's going to be another character change, so stay tuned, dumbasses!